Very good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are doing. I am back with another wonderful topic for the top for today. Let me start the session and this particular video. Uh, please be with me. Yeah, let me just share the link and we will be started in a few minutes. Yeah, just hang tight. Okay, so extremely sorry about that. Let's start it. Let's get started with the session. So all of you who are watching this live over YouTube, please do comment or please do write in the chat box #live. Yes. So if you're watching the replay of this video, please do type #replay. All right. Yes. Let me share my screen. Okay. So this particular video is going to be about those individuals who are constantly in strive of achieving perfectionism through the work that they do. And in addition to that, it happens with most of them that they tend to procrastinate a lot because of a few reasons that we will be covering in this particular video. And also, we'll be covering the ways through which we can help ourselves get rid of these kind of issues. All right. So let me start the session by this wonderful image where you can see an individual is constantly worried about getting the job done and in a very good way, but also is facing time constraints in it, right? So the perfectionism and procrastination issue or the loop that, as we say, right, the trap. So first understand what exactly is perfectionism and what exactly is procrastination. Okay, so perfectionism is something where you want everything to be flawless. Whatever task you do, whatever work you do, you want everything of that to be flawless and very good, right, and extraordinary, right? So it's about setting very high standards and being critical of yourself, right? You think that everything that I do should be best out of the rest. Okay, that is what we call perfectionism, and it crosses when it crosses a certain limit, and it reaches where you are critical, very critical about examining yourself. You are very critical about uh, making things very over perfect, right? As I can say. So there is the issue. There comes the issue. It is very good to have that eye where you search for mistakes and you try to rectify them. But there's an issue where you think that everything that I do should be absolutely perfect, and because of that you tend to do it again and until you find it in the best possible way. And even after that, if you go back to it and if you look at it once again, you will still find that this is something that is not yet perfect. I have to work on it once again. So that keeps on happening with you. So that is what we call perfectionism. Now let's understand what exactly is procrastination. Okay, so procrastination is delaying the tasks or putting them off. Okay, if you want to do something and you don't feel like doing it, or there are some other reasons which are stopping you from doing it, that is something that we call as procrastination. Okay, it often happens when we are overwhelmed with the amount of tasks or with the quantity of tasks, right? Or we are afraid of what exactly is going to happen if I do this. Or we are afraid that will we be able to match the standards? Will we be able to do this work perfectly? So this happens when we procrastinate, or we procrastinate and because of this. Okay. So you got to know about the both of them, both the terms perfectionism and procrastination, right? Now let's understand what exactly is the loop between them. How are they linked? Is the next question, next big question. All right. Perfectionism can make tasks seem impossible to complete perfectly. Let me repeat that. Perfectionism can make tasks seem impossible to complete perfectly. When we try to achieve perfection, right, it is very difficult for ourselves to achieve that task. We are always in the journey of reaching or going to be perfect, right? We never are completely 100% perfect. So perfectionism make tasks seems impossible, and because of that we procrastinate. हमें लगता है कि अच्छा ये काम को ऐसे करने से अच्छा होगा, बट ऐसे करने के लिए अभी सही वक्त नहीं लगता। हमें हमें लगता है कि हम बाद में करेंगे, बहुत अच्छे से करेंगे, लेकिन थोड़ी देर बाद करेंगे। And that is how they are linked. Okay, when you strive heavily for perfection, you will start procrastinating because currently you feel you are not prepared for uh, reaching that standards or achieving that standards of perfectionism, right? Moving on, the reason behind them, the psychological reason behind them is the fear that makes us uh, understand, or that makes us afraid about the mistakes that we might encounter while doing a work, and thus the result might not be perfect, because of which we fear to do the work, and because of which we tend to delay the work, right? So fear of making mistakes or not being good enough can make us avoid starting the task itself. All right, so if you're fearing that will this work be good enough, or will I be able to do it in a particular way, right? Because of that fear, most of us avoid to start to avoid the task itself. If you'll not do the task, how will mistakes happen, or how will you make it perfect, right? So this is a continuous loop that many of students and learners and working individuals and employees and a lot of them go through and face difficulties with. All right, so how to recognize this? All right, ये तो बहुत सारा हो गया फिलोसॉफिकल बात की। हाँ, ऐसा ऐसा होता है, इसलिए कैसे पता चलेगा कि हम इस लूप में हैं? ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हमेशा आपको कॉन्शियसली पता रहता है कि आप कुछ गलत कर रहे हैं, आप कुछ सही कर रहे हैं। कुछ इंडिकेशंस जब आपको मिलेंगे तब आपको पता चलेगा कि हाँ, इस यहाँ पर एक प्रॉब्लम है और मैं इसमें फंस चुका हूँ और फंस चुकी हूँ, राइट? सो let's understand and look at some indicators that will help you to recognize the unhealthy perfectionism. All right, so the first sign is constantly being worried about details. If you're constantly worried about details, if you avoid tasks due to fear of failure, if you set unrealistic goals, these are some signs that you just want to be perfect. And if you are someone who is having these kind of signs, then please step back, rethink about the whole thing, and get started with another plan. The consequences. Let's look at the consequences. So obviously, when you're constantly worried and you are not sure about how to approach a particular task, you will start delaying the work, right? This can increase stress level in yourself, right? And of course, miss deadlines, right? So when you think about doing tasks in a very perfect way, you will start missing deadlines. You will constantly be in stress, and you will always try to make it, enhance it better and better and better the next time, right? So these are a few things that I wanted to cover under perfectionism and procrastination. So let's have a look at the uh, counter side of it. Like, what can we do to tackle it or to get rid of it, right? So just give me a second to just double check if we are doing fine from the stream side. Let me connect with the backend team and just double check. All right. By the way, if you are watching this live, please type hashtag live. And if you are, yeah, and if you are someone who is yet to go through the enormous amount of courses and the videos that we have posted over YouTube, please do visit www.odchofficial.in and go through the courses and the wonderful uh, videos that we have made and the courses, right? So you can also watch uh, our wonderful content over YouTube, our ODCH official YouTube channel. So with that, let's get started. Yeah. So let's now understand how to overcome procrastination. All right. So there are a few practical strategies that you need to implement in order to do it. All right. So time blocking is the most important of it, is what I feel. So set specific time for tasks and work on one thing at a time. All right. So this is something that you must focus on. That is time blocking. All right. Please set specific time for tasks. करते हैं, देखते हैं, चलेगा कब तक खत्म होगा वो पता नहीं है। ऐसे आप अगर काम करेंगे कभी खत्म नहीं होगा वो। जब तक आप कोई डेडलाइन सेट नहीं करते किसी काम के लिए, वो काम कभी खत्म नहीं होता। राइट, देयर इज अ फिलोसॉफिकल और साइकोलॉजिकल रादर theory about it, right? So when you set a deadline, it takes that much of time to complete. If you don't set a deadline, if you set a deadline for 2 days, the work will get completed in 2 days. If you set a deadline for 20 days, the work will get completed in 20 days itself, not before that. All right. So set clear time limit uh, and specific time for tasks. All right. Dedicate specific time for tasks. Yes, that is called time blocking. Prioritization, and of course, sorry about that. Work on one thing at a time. Of course, that is very important. Whenever you want to, whenever you want to be focused and do tasks in a very good way, please do work on things at a time. मतलब कभी भी ऐसे मल्टीपल चीजों में आप जब काम करेंगे, आपका जो फोकस है वो स्प्लिट हो जाएगा बहुत सारी चीजों में, और वहां पर आप अच्छे से मतलब हर चीज को बारीकी से नजर नहीं रख सकते, राइट? तो वहां पर आपको डिफिकल्ट होगा टू मेंटेन एवरीथिंग इन ए परफेक्ट वे, राइट? Exactly where multitasking is an issue, is what many of the current generation individuals feel, right? So do one task at a time is something that I would like to suggest all of you. The next thing is prioritization. Yes, of course. Focus on the most important tasks first. All right. So prioritize कीजिए अपने task को, do prioritize them, and because not everything is of your own or first priority, segregate कीजिए। फर्स्ट मैं ये करूंगा, उसके बाद ये करूंगा, ये ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है उससे, इसलिए मैं ये पहले खत्म करूंगा। सो इस तरीके से जब आप अप्रोच करेंगे, you will find that the ability of yourself to tackle with different tasks improves, right? And that will help you a lot. All right. Yes. The next task is the next technique is to set achievable goals, right? Do you remember यहाँ पर ऊपर मैंने कहीं पर बोला था कि what are the signs that you are into this trap? If you set unachievable goals for yourself, you are into this trap. Yes, break big tasks into smaller ones. All right, and turn them into manageable steps, or something that you can easily achieve, right? We generally segregate this, right? मतलब अब बहुत बड़ा कोई टास्क है, आपको एक बुक पढ़ना खत्म करना है। आज मैं बुक पढ़ूंगा, आज मैं बुक पढ़ूंगा करोगे तो आप नहीं होगा। आज शुरू करूंगा, आज शुरू करूंगा करोगे तो आप नहीं होगा। रादर आप क्या कर सकते हैं, आप उस बुक को सेग्रीगेट कर सकते हैं कि आज मैं फर्स्ट चैप्टर खत्म करूंगा, या फिर आज मैं हाफ एन आवर के लिए ये बुक पढ़ूंगा। आप अगर इस तरीके से ब्रेक डाउन करेंगे टास्क को, देन इट विल बी वेरी इजी फॉर यू टू कंप्लीट दैट टास्क, ऑलराइट, इंस्टेड ऑफ लुकिंग एट द होल बिग थिंग, राइट? आप स्मॉल अचीवेबल टास्क में कन्वर्ट कीजिए उसको, and this is also applicable for those who are into projects, those who are into exams preparation for exams, right? You should have monthly deadlines, you should have weekly deadlines, and you should achieve your daily deadlines. Only then, if you are achieving your daily deadlines, only then you will be able to achieve your monthly deadlines. As simple as that. All right. Yes, and please plan it wisely. You have to plan it very wisely. All right. Moving on, let's have a look at the uh, aspect of balance, the quality of maintaining the quality and also completing things in time. All right. So first, understand that progress is more important than perfection. All right. Always progress over perfection, and always aim to do a good job, not a perfect one. All right. As I said earlier as well, that perfection is a destination. It's perfect. Perfect thing is a destination, and we are in a journey towards that. It's not that we will get there, or anyone has ever been there. It is very difficult to find people who are very perfect at everything that they do, right? So always try to make progress toward perfection. Don't try to be perfect at the current moment. All right. So be good at what you do, right? That is something that we need to have our aim at. All right. So completing tasks is more important than making them perfect. All right. This is something many of individuals realize very late in their life. All right. The earlier you understand this, the better you will be at things. All right. So with that, let's move on to the next point. That is setting deadlines. All right. Give yourself a time frame to finish tasks and stick to it. All right. Commit yourself a timeline. Give yourself a timeline and stick to that particular timeline is something that shows your commitment toward yourself, how authentic you are to your own self. Are you respecting your own self? Are you respecting your time? If you are, then you, after committing yourself a particular task or a particular time limit or a frame, you should stick to that. If you are thinking that, हाँ अभी नहीं तो कल कर लूंगा, कल नहीं तो कल शाम को कर लूंगा, रात तक तो टाइम है, अभी कुछ दूसरा काम कर लेता हूँ, एंड मोमेंट में कंप्लीट कर लूंगा. If you think like this, then it is very difficult to stick to the time limit. And when you don't stick to it, you tend to procrastinate even further, right? So please have a watch on yourself. Moving on, the role of self-compassion, all right? Compassion is something that we often associate with others, right? हमें लगता है कि हमें हमेशा दूसरों के साथ compassionate होकर रहना चाहिए. But you need to also understand that you need to practice it with your own self as well. Be kind to yourself. Do not be harsh on yourself. All right. Understand that mistakes are a part of learning. If you are doing mistakes, you are learning something every single time, right? Understand that and don't be too hard on yourself. Yes, that is the first step. And reduce stress. Right. So self-compassion helps in handling mistakes better and keep procrastination at bay. All right. So when you are aware that हाँ गलती हो सकती है मेरे से, जरूरी नहीं कि मैं जो भी कुछ करूंगा या करूंगी वो पहले ही स्टेप में, पहले ही अटेम्प्ट में मैं 100% करेक्ट कर दूंगा उसको, करेक्ट कर दूंगी उसको. ये आप जब तक एक्सपेक्टेशन खुद से रखेंगे, इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू टू achieve that, right? Or to complete that work in a good way either. When you think that, I will put my all the efforts into this particular work, let's see how it turns out. Let's see how it be, and I will learn from the mistakes. The next time I will make it even better. If you think like this, then I think it is a much better approach than thinking that I need to make this perfect, right? Yes. So this was about self-compassion. All right. So let's have a look at how does this impact communication skills. All right. That is something that I should be talking about particularly because our channel, the odchofficial, is intended towards helping individuals improve their English communication skills. And this particular thing is a part of soft skills. So everything is linked with each other. We have to understand that it's not like if you are procrastinating, it is not affecting your communication. If your communication is not good, then it is not like you are not getting affected in your soft skills. So each of them are linked with each other. All right. So delays, procrastination can lead to late response in communication. How many times it happens with you that you tend to think something that I will reply to this particular mail or this particular message in a certain way, and no, I don't think this is a good way of replying to that. And because of you, because of that, you tend to ignore or keep that task aside. 4 घंटे 5 घंटे बाद पता चलता है कि अरे मैंने तो इसे रिप्लाई करना ही भूल गया, क्या सोच रहा होगा वो, क्या सोच रही होगी वो, आई मीन जस्ट सेइंग, राइट? ऐसा होता है. I have also been there, done that, right? So try to understand that when you are into this real life scenario where you have to constantly be in touch with each other to get things done, you cannot think of a perfect reply. You cannot think of a reply that will make everything completely transparent. There will be some kind of error, some kind of mistake, or some kind of uh, what to let's talk it as a opacity, right? Opacity between you and your the other individual that you want to communicate with. So you need to understand that, and you need to understand that while you communicate, it should be you should not be procrastinating in that. All right. Don't think that I will give her or him a perfect reply. All right. That is something that you should not be aiming at. Yes. Over editing. Yes. How many of you have been there? Yes. Perfectionism might make you overthink and revise messages too much. कितने बार ऐसा होता है कि ड्राफ्ट करके हम रखते हैं एक मैसेज भेजने के लिए, और बार बार हम उसको एडिट करते रहते हैं कि नहीं, यहाँ पर ये अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, यहाँ पर ये गलत लग रहा है. To some extent it is good, but when you start overdoing it, you need to understand that someone on the other end is waiting for your response, and you are taking time here to edit it and make it even better and better and better and better, with the cost of not sending the message to them while you should be sending the message to them, right? So first you need to understand that there's a very thin line between making it perfect versus making delaying it or procrastinating in it, right? So do understand that. Okay. Yes. Tips: keep messages clear and to the point. Don't wait for perfect conditions to communicate. Okay. Keep messages clear and to the point. There is something that will help you a lot in cutting the crap. When we try to communicate, we think that इतना directly अगर मैं बोल दूंगा तो सामने वाला क्या सोचेगा. कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है ना कि अगर मैं टू द पॉइंट बोलूंगा, स्पेसिफिक बोलूंगा, डायरेक्टली बोलूंगा, तो सामने वाले को लाइक ऑकवर्ड लग सकता है, राइट? बट अगर आप बहुत घुमा फिरा के बात करेंगे, सामने वाला it will be very difficult for the other person to comprehend or interpret, right? So make sure that whenever you are communicating, your intentions are pure at the first place, and at the same time you are communicating it freely and you are to the point with your points. All right, moving ahead. Yes, and please do not wait for perfect conditions to communicate. There will never be a perfect condition. जो करना है अभी करना है, जैसे भी करना है आपको समझ. Okay, moving on. Actionable tips for the audience. All right, whenever you are delivering something to your audience, or you are in a platform where you are participating or practicing public speaking, so start small. Okay, it is also with your own self, right? When you are trying to get rid of your habits that makes you procrastinate, you need to start small. Begin with simple tasks to build confidence and momentum, right? Set realistic standards. Understand that good work is enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Realistic standards for yourself. And tools. Please use tools like to-do list and timers to help you manage time and reduce procrastination. So here are a few tips that you need to practice with your own self in order to be someone who is not procrastinating and consuming a lot of time in order to making things perfect, right? Yes, and $1 million thing that I wanted to share with all of you, that is, done is better than perfect. Yes, This was said by Shirley Sandberg, and this particular quote, please do understand the depth of this quote. Done is better than perfect. So, to conclude and to summarize all of them into one single sentence, it is this particular quote. Yes. And the more you try to do things in a perfect way, it will help you to improve the quality, but it will take longer or more duration for you to achieve that. So there is some kind of trade-off between both of them, right? So you should have the wisdom to select which one matters to you the most. In our daily life chores, daily life tasks, even if in those you are trying to be perfect every single day, then you might take a longer period of time to complete them. Understand that over time, you will get better at it, right? So instead of doing it the best, the perfect in this particular attempt, try to learn from the mistakes that you commit from this particular attempt and rectify them in the next one. That is something that I want to convey through this particular video. By the way, please leave a comment if you have reached till this point of the video. Please leave a comment in the comment section below about how do you like this video, and are you someone who also connected with this topic. बहुत ऐसा होता है सबके साथ कि हम किसी चीज के साथ बहुत रिलेट करते हैं, बट रिलेट करने के बाद का जो सॉल्यूशन होता है वो हमारे पास नहीं होता. So we are trying to work on that. We are trying to spread solutions, and most of them are hidden within. आपको पता है आपको क्या करने से सही होगा आपका जो procrastination है, but to pick that out, to make you realize that, you need a trigger point. Consider this video as that trigger point. Okay. आप इतने समय तक इस वीडियो के साथ स्टिक होकर अगर रह चुके हैं, इसका मतलब ये है कि आप भी कहीं ना कहीं इसके साथ कनेक्ट करते हैं, राइट? दिस इज ऑल्सो एन इश्यू दैट यू आर फेसिंग. सो बेटर टेक एक्शंस टू stop it, to rectify it before it is too late. All right. With that, I will be closing this particular session or this particular video. Hope to see you in the next one, and I am looking forward to your response, your comments. Please do comment. I will be reading to all of them, and we will be responding them as soon as possible. All right. Thank you so much once again for being with us live till this point of time. And if you're watching the replay of it, the recorded version of it, then thank you so much once again for spending your valuable time in learning something that will help you. All right. So with that, I'll take a leave. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.